Hello everyone, welcome to the very first ever episode of Allergy Smart TV. I'm your host Aaron Dwyer, and I want to present to you a new TV show, online TV show, purposely suited and directly targeted to food allergies and anaphylaxis in particular. So I want to give you a quick little intro as to what this show is going to be all about, who I am, and why am I doing this. So basically, Allergy Smart TV is an extension of our already existing website, which is allergysmart.net. We've had that website now for probably about coming up to 3 years. We've been sharing with the community tips and other bits and pieces of food allergies and anaphylaxis that we've come across over the last 3 years while we've been online. Prior to that, we have a son who has anaphylaxis to dairy, peanuts, and tree nuts and eggs. And we found out that he had these, he had this condition when he was just 6 months old. He's now almost 8. He's going 8 this year, and so we've been dealing with this for about 7.5 years. So we have done quite a lot of research in the beginning when we first found out about anaphylaxis. Of course, we've been building on that for the last 7.5 years, and we live with it as you do, or may, on a daily basis. So we're definitely right up there with having to put into implementation all the bits and pieces that we might come across on the internet. So I also want to say that this video TV show is a companion to our blog. We'll still continue to post articles and post posts onto our blog, but every week on the weekend I'll produce this TV show, and it may go for 5 minutes, it may go for 10 or 15, however long it takes for me to get across the particular point that I wanted to talk about across to you. So I did actually want to do a TV show. Probably I had the first inclination that I wanted to do this TV show about a year ago, and it's been in the works for probably about the last month, seriously in the works for the last month. I did actually try and tape the very first episode about 4 weeks ago. My video equipment was so bad that the quality was just terrible. So I've gone out and I've got myself a little bit better quality equipment, enough to be able to get the message down, get it onto the internet and get it out to you. So today I want to talk about skin testing, and we'll go into that in our main content segment, which is coming up after this. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about skin testing. What is it? Why do we use it? And how does it all work? So skin testing is very, very simple. Skin testing, or allergy skin testing, it's purely there as a non-invasive way, other than a blood test of course, as a non-invasive way to enable the individual to be able to work out how sensitive they are to a particular allergen or substance. So in our case, we have particular food groups that we're testing for, and every year we do a yearly checkup and use a skin test as a guide to see how sensitive we are going. Either have we gotten less sensitive or have we gotten more sensitive over the last year. So today what I want to show you is how a skin test actually works. There's nothing to be afraid of, there's nothing to fear of a skin test. As I said, it's non-invasive, and the whole concept of a skin test is to purely test against your skin the essence of a particular allergen that you might think or you might know that you actually have an adverse reaction to. So I don't know what it's like overseas, but in Australia, in order to get a skin test, you have to visit a GP first and get a referral to either an allergy specialist or a medical laboratory. So in Queensland, we actually have the QML. And with the QML, it's a government subsidised service, and you can ask your GP to get referred to the QML in order to get your allergy testing, your skin allergy testing done. Now, I thoroughly recommend that if you have never had a skin test before, that you make sure, especially for children, that you make sure that you get referred to a pediatric allergy specialist. Because when you go to a medical laboratory, they will take your skin test, but they won't be able to analyse the information and be able to inform you in an accurate, with an accurate description of what it actually is that you need to do and what it is that the results are. So medical laboratory testing is great if you know what it is you're looking for and you'll be able to correlate it against previous results. But if you have never had a skin test before, make sure you go and see a specialist about this, because that is critical. Right, so once you've got yourself a referral to go and see either a specialist or a medical laboratory to be able to get your skin test done, they simply will have a batch of vials that are at their disposal, and they may test for whatever you might be. It might be dog, cat, grass, and the foods, any food range: egg white, egg yolk, peanuts, tree nuts, milk, goat's milk, soy, the list goes on. So whatever it is that you think or have been diagnosed by your GP or have worked out in any fashion, however it's happened, whether you've had a reaction or whether you haven't, you can go along and get tested for these certain allergens. And basically what they'll do, medical laboratory, allergy specialist, same concept, same principle. What they'll do is they'll usually do, hopefully you can see this, what they'll do is they'll get your forearm and they'll put some marks, let's grab a pen, they'll put some marks on your arm in order to, hopefully you can see this, in order to place little dots, little drops of the allergen on the skin. So they draw their little squares like this, or some do it a different way, but this is the general concept, and they simply drop a little dot of the liquid of whichever allergen it is that you're after on your skin. So this box here might be peanut, this one might be dairy, this one here might be egg white, egg yolk, soy, tree nuts, shellfish, so on and so on. So I better add an extra one here. What they also need is they need a control. So they'll drop a control on there, and the control is histamine. It's not antihistamine, it's histamine. Because what they want to see here is they want to see your skin reacting. So they want to see your skin reacting so that they can use it as a guide to gauge how much reaction is going on with any of these other allergens here. They also need a negative control, and usually that's water, distilled water or something like that, so they can measure against a false positive. Because if this guy here is raised up as just water, then you may just have very sensitive skin, which has happened to us as well. Whereby if the water is raised up, then you have to take everything else into consideration. That, well, that's as large as that. Have we caught you on a bad day? Have you you know, what's going on here? So you've got to have the negative control, you've got to have the positive control, and you've got to have all their allergens. So basically what happens after that is that they get a little needle and they just break the skin, they just prick the skin. So it's not invasive, they just prick the skin at each location. They either swap needles in between or clean it with some medical alcohol so that there's no cross-contamination. And it's quite a simple process, and once that's all done, it's left for about 10 to 15 minutes, whereby the allergen can, you know, we get a gauge of what's going on in 10 to 15 minutes of what the allergen is actually doing to the skin. So in our case, hives will appear where the allergen is actually reacting with the skin. In the case, say this one here was dairy. If you've got a hive that's you know, 16 millimeters in diameter, and your control up here is only, say, 2 or 3 millimeters in diameter, you've got a problem. You've got a big issue. And likewise, they can gauge it from the size of the welts that appear, the hives that appear. They can gauge against the control to see what's going on. Now, there's a sliding scale as to how large the hives are which rates you as to how sensitive you are to the particular allergen. I know we've mentioned this on our blog already earlier on, quite a long time ago. I may revisit that table in this blog post, but I won't go into the analysis of it. I'll leave that for another episode. So, in a nutshell, nothing to fear for skin testing. If you've never had a skin test and you have a suspicion or are definitely sure you have something, I thoroughly recommend that you go and see a specialist and you get a skin test. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little segment on skin testing, and I look forward to be able to produce another episode for you next week. Look out for it, probably be on a Sunday, and that's the best day for me to be able to pull these things together. And I wish you a good week, and I'll catch you next weekend. Bye for now.